YouTube. Okay, there we go. Hello, Facebook and YouTube family. What's going on, everyone? Once again, this is Attorney Abisola Adifola Olale, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case that we handle, and if you want to know what case types we handle, if you go on our website, olalayalawfirm.com, there's a section that will tell you the areas of practice. Hello, Mr. in the Sanctuary. We'll be glad to represent you in your case, regardless of. Thank you. I've lost count how many I have now. My kids don't even, whenever I come home and like, oh, you got another 10. Okay, yeah. So it's like whatever. And so my oldest was like, well, I'm 21 now, so I guess I can make my, yeah, well, we know, but it's still my house. So let's see how that's. You know how you still want to be like the African parent, but then you have to remind yourself this is a different society. It's a struggle. The struggle is real. Like, anyway, I digress. If you go to our website, you'll be able to see the types of immigration cases that we handle. So we'll be glad to represent you. It is cold. I got my blanket here. It is cold. It is cold, y'all. Right, Miss Khadija, you've got a 20-something year, like the thing that they know everything. That is like, it's my house. Like if you come to my house, come like it is what it is. Hello, Mr. Kelvin. Mr. Kelvin, give me a tea that can't meet one of these days. I'm telling you, we're the only two last singles left. Right. I bet it's cold in Kentucky because y'all, my ex-fiance used to work in Kentucky. Yes, I was engaged and I broke up the engagement. I'm the problem. I know. Keep your stories, your judgment to yourself. So I know it gets cold and y'all get snow in Kentucky so I ain't coming that way. Just letting you know. But it's been cold, y'all. We have a cold freeze in the South as well. And I have a friend who moved from Indiana to, I call him my brother. We moved from Indiana to Texas. And so I've always been telling him, I've always been telling him about, how cold it gets in the South. So he was talking to me today. He goes, y'all in the South make it sound like it's so cold, like it's freezing. And he was like, do you understand what it's like to be in the negative temperatures in Indiana and Chicago? Like, well, and you're like, that's on you. I mean, I can imagine. That's what I'm saying. Because I used to visit him during the winter and it was always like snow. I love the snow, but geez. And he was like, and y'all, low 20s and you're shouting that it's cold. It is cold for us in the South. It is. I mean, things get shut down because we don't have snow tractors or whatever. We don't have that because we don't get that kind of weather. So everything shuts down. When the negative yesterday wasn't even, we were in the teens yesterday. It was like, and people were like, and he was like, we get into the negative. Okay, yeah, you can go back to Indiana. We don't want it. We don't want it. Indies are another degree. It is. I lived in Chicago for 3.5 years, so I know. But anyway, if we can help you with your immigration case, contact our office, 334-341-4475. Visit our website. Once again, that's olalayalawfirm.com, at Olale Immigration on all platforms. We'll be glad to represent you. Reason I left Indy for Seattle. I don't blame you. Listen, I love Chi-Town. I love to go to Chicago during the summertime, but miss me in the winter. I mean, I remember my oldest son was born in Chicago. My 21-year was born in Chicago. And he's a December baby. He's a winter baby. I can never forget we were going to see my ex-husband's aunt. And we left our apartment then. But at the time, it was like just 10 minutes into the drive. We're going to Calumet City. All of a sudden, the blizzard it was snowing and just became blizzard. I was like, Chicago. But I don't think I've been to Chicago since in the winter. The time, maybe one time, something, but no, missed me with that one. But anyway, let's talk immigration, y'all. And if you are joining us for the first time, let us know what city, what state, what country you're joining in from. Welcome. This is a positive platform, which we need. God knows we need it, especially in these times that we talk all things immigration. We pray for one another. We encourage one another. We share testimonies. We motivate one another, whatever the case may be. This is a safe space, regardless of what it is, just share. And you'll have people who would support you and encourage you. And so you know that you're not alone, which is what this whole platform is about. We come together every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Any other place I don't know from Indiana, welcome in. From Oregon, welcome. Triple Africa, welcome. All right, let's talk immigration, y'all. It's always one thing or the other. It's always one thing or the other. It is always one thing or the other. Well, so we got, please share, especially tonight. Share, especially if you are traveling. I know a lot of people are already in Lagos for 30 December and Aba and Enugu State and in Abuja. Y'all, that's good. But please understand that if you really do not have to go anywhere, I can only imagine. Since you don't break down my door. What? I'm alive. No, don't break the door. I can only imagine what it's going to be like when people are coming back in January. Like, but I know that when Niger people make up their mind on 30 December, it would take Jesus to come down and change them. And even Jesus going like, okay, you lift me out of this one. So I know. But the way he opens the door is like, who's paying the bills? But anyway, that is, I'm telling you. But anyway, so what we're talking about tonight, travel ban update. In all seriousness, travel ban update is what we're talking about tonight. So share, invite your people, tell people who want to travel. This is not fear-mongering because there are people like, okay, all this learners just wanting to make you afraid. So if you followed up me on our platforms enough to know, I don't do fear-mongering, but I do being realistic and being and giving you the information so you can make an informed decision on your own. This is the information you need. It's up to you to make the decision. We're all adults, so it's up to you. But when and I think we shared a video or a post, I can't remember if it was a post or a reel of one of my clients. I've had two clients now where they were coming back with advancement. One actually ended up being deported. His case is still pending, but unfortunately he was deported. He left everything. They didn't even let him go back home. The other was held almost 3 hours and trying to convince him to unduly influence him to say that his case was fraudulent and all that. So when it comes to that person that is singled out by CBP, it's 100% loss, or 100% just a traumatic experience. So this is what you need to know before you travel. Yes, he unfortunately ended up being deported. So, and I don't think I could function that whole day. You would have thought somebody, I don't know. For me, I have a lot of my colleagues who know me already say that it's difficult for me to separate, and which is what I do that for the most part because I do the criminal defense. You're just going to run yourself down. But the immigration is a very, very sensitive area of practice for me. And I think because I've been through the process myself, so I get it. I know it's someone's life. It actually is life-changing, literally. And so when you have to, yes, that's my job. Yes, there's nothing I can do. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't really mess with it. It really does. It was just really a whole lot. It was a lot. When his brother called me and said, hey, he ended up being deported back to his home country back in West Africa there. It is what it is. And I say that so that you know that this is not something where we're just going with what's in the news. This is something where it's happening. It is happening. I've had a close call based on these experiences, just so you know. So today, this administration has added more countries to the travel ban. So this is what you need to know. Hi, Miss Nelechi, how are you? We've had the 19 countries where there were originally the 19 countries that were on the initial travel ban. Some had the full restrictions, some had the partial restrictions. Those initial countries included Congo, Chad, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Yemen. So today, December 16, 2025, they have added, and which is, to be honest, saying some of the countries actually I thought were going to be added initially. That's just the truth. I really thought, like, okay, well, it's just a matter of when. So with everything now is being tied to, and I want to be very clear that the incident that happened with the National Guard was very, very sad. What's been happening, with people just being with religious persecution and all that in so many places in the world, that it's just sad. But they're using those incidents as a basis to now implement all of this policies and proclamations and all that. So effective today, there are additional countries that are now added to the travel ban. There are, let's see, hold on one second, 5 countries. So in addition to the 19 that we already know, there are 5 countries that are now added with full restrictions. When I say full restrictions, basically there's no partial restrictions, like it affects all non-immigrants and immigrant applications for those 5 countries. And those countries are Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan, and Syria. So, and then let's see, who imposes full on chicken previously. Okay, and so Sierra Leone was on partial restriction. It's now on full restriction. And yeah, so Sierra Leone had, Laos and Sierra Leone had partial restrictions, is now in full restriction. Now, this is where it took on most of us, because being Nigerian, obviously most of my clients are Nigerians, and majority of my clients are Nigerians and Caribbeans. That's just Africans and Caribbeans, but most of the Africans are Nigerians. So Nigeria is one of the additional 15 countries that's been added to the travel ban, but Nigeria does not have full restriction where all visa types have been banned. So that's basically saying, so partial restriction means there are exemptions. Full restrictions means everything is everything is banned. Those countries are just to include the fact that there's some people from the countries that have full ban were actually scheduled because USCIS, in addition to the ban, USCIS is also re-examining immigration benefits that have been approved for those for those immigrants that are from those particular countries, to include actually canceling naturalization ceremonies for those who actually were already in the ceremony and they had to pause it and take them out. How cruel can that be? That is the height of cruelty. I mean, you're thinking this is the last step of it, and they tell you, no, sorry, we can't swear you in today because you are from this country. Can you imagine? So that's that. But Nigeria is part of this additional country. So this additional 15 countries do not have full restrictions as of today. They have partial restrictions. And those countries include, like I said, Nigeria, Republic of Benin, Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast, Dominican Republic, the Gambia, Malawi, Senegal, Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Antigua, and I think Gabon, Angola, Mauritania. I think that's basically those additional 15 countries. So what is it? So those countries that have, including Nigeria, that has the partial restriction, there will be some immigrants and non-immigrant visas that will not be processed. So the partial restrictions mean that not all visa applications will be, not all applicants will be subjected to the travel ban. There will be exceptions. But it's going to affect applications for immigrant visas and applications for non-immigrant visas, such as B1, B2, which is a visitor visa, F1 visa, which is the international student visa, M visa, which is a vocational visa for students as well, J1 visitor exchange visa. So each of those countries, they have put out they released the explanation of why those countries, or the justification why those countries have either the full restriction or the partial restriction. So, for instance, Nigeria, the report on this White House facts document says that radical Islamic terrorist groups such as Boko Haram and the Islamic State operate freely in certain parts of Nigeria, which creates substantial screening and vetting difficulties. according to the overstay report, Nigeria had a B1, B2, which is a visitor visa, overstay rate of 5.56%, and an FM and J visa overstay rate of 11.9%. So based on the religious unrest, based on the terrorist group Boko Haram activities, based on the percentage of Nigerians coming on visitor visas, or other non-immigrant visas like student visas and all that, and staying back, that's their justification why Nigeria has now been added to the travel ban. So is it possible that these countries, Senegal, DR, Tanzania, Benin, that have now had partial restrictions, is it possible for that partial restriction to become full restriction? Absolutely. Just the same thing they did to Laos and Sierra Leone. So that's this is effective immediately. How this is going to play out, we do not know. It's yet to be seen what's going to happen. But here's where it becomes relevant as far as travel at this time. We're talking about travel ban, right? So that means that if you are from any of those countries, you just never know. Now, green card holders are exempt. Just to be very clear on that, there's some exemptions. Let me go back here so I can tell you what other exemptions are there. Let's see. So Tony Green Card. No, that's why this video, you can always go back and watch the videos. But there are exemptions. The green card holders are exempt. Okay, so exceptions for lawful permanent residents, existing visa holders, so they will not cancel. Obviously, they can always revoke visa because they've revoked 80,000 and counting visas so far. The Department of State has about 10,000 of those are student visas. So green card holders are exempt. Existing visa holders are exempt. Certain visa categories like athletes and diplomats, and individuals whose entry serves U.S. national interest, those are exempt. There will be every case is going to be evaluated on its own merits, whether or not someone is going to qualify for a waiver is going to be case specific. So so apart from those being exempt, so if you have a green card, unless there is something else that's going to be a reason. For instance, I met with someone today where this person has had a green card for the last 6 years. I'm not sure how we're doing a FOIA request. So because for me, it was just like out of the left field, but they just got an NTA from USCIS. USCIS claims that they were unlawfully admitted as a permanent resident because their divorce decree from Nigeria was not genuine. They've had the green card for 6 years. And they sent they've not even revoked the I-130 that was approved. They haven't, but they sent them an NTA, and now they have been referred to immigration court based on an allegation that their divorce document was not genuine, and so they were unlawfully admitted. You can't make this stuff up. So I say all that to say this: if you do not have to travel outside the country. So say, for instance, imagine this person who has had this green card for 6 years. They've tried, and now they've been referred to immigration court. Imagine if this person was outside the country. They just traveled, right? And they're coming in. They probably would be wondering, okay, so they would have gotten to the port of entry and would have been referred, probably would have been detained because of the NTA. How would anyone think that anyone who's had a green card for 6 years and going in and out and just for whatever reason, I don't know why he hasn't filed for citizenship. I have to look through my notes, but there was nothing based on what he told me. There's nothing until we see the FOIA request. There's nothing right now that he's aware of that would have been besides them alleging. And I said, okay, send me the divorce documents. I don't authenticate documents, but it was a customary divorce decree. So they're claiming that you can use that, which is not true. So there may be some issues until we get a FOIA request, which I can't really say much about because I really don't have much information besides what we just know, which is an NTA. But imagine that person traveling, just not thinking anything of it, and they're coming back. And now you've got Nigeria on the travel ban list with partial restriction. And, CBP has that list, and they're thinking, oh, by the way, we think, you actually got your green card through fraud, they will definitely be detained. So what is my point? My point is, if you do not have to travel, especially if you are traveling on a temporary visa, or a non-immigrant visa, you've got an F1, M1, J1 visa, you're traveling based on advanced parole, there's going to be a heightened scrutiny with you coming back. That's just the truth of the matter. These people are trying to get more people out of the country than inside. So the travel ban, the whole point of the travel ban is to restrict people coming into the United States. So if you're traveling and they have whatever reason to keep you outside the United States, then you're going to make it a lot easier for them. So I'm not saying you cannot travel. You can, but be aware of what is in your record. Is there anything that is concerning? Is your advance parole valid? First of all, let's start with the very, very first question. Do I really have to travel right now before, especially if you don't have your green card? Do I have to travel before I get my green card, or should I just wait until I get the green card? If your travel is just about Daddy December, don't let it become regretful January, right? Because the Daddy December will clean you up in January very fast. But if you don't have to travel, then that's the best case scenario. Just wait. If you're close to getting your citizenship, you're 2-3 months away from becoming eligible, just wait and file it. But if you are in that category of people like, come bring something, be right about that, we're going on this one. That's okay. Just make sure that your advance parole has not expired. And I say that people are like, oh, why would you travel with an expired advance parole? What had happened to a client of mine 2 Christmases ago? Went to Canada. For whatever reason, he thought his advance parole was still valid. Tried coming back in, and then they looked at it and like, oh, by the way, your advance parole already expired last year. And he goes, no, it's still valid. No, it expired last year. He had no clue. And obviously, whenever I tell my clients are traveling, I always tell them, hey, make sure you let me know. At the time he decided he was going to Canada, I was already out for the holiday. It was Christmas, and you already know, my clients know, you have my email response. And for whatever reason, he decided, okay, she's not going to respond because she's out of the office, but I'm still going to go. So, but anyway, long story short, he is back in the country, but he is in removal proceeding because that's the only way we could get him back in. So yes, it is actually possible for people not to pay attention to the expiration date on the advance parole, especially if you're going using your visa stamp, like, oh, the stamp means that means I can travel in and out. No. Make sure your advance parole is valid. Make sure that you've got proof of your pending application. If you've got a pending I-485, take your receipt notice with you. Make sure that you're checking your case tracker and your case has not been denied, or you have not been issued an RFE that you haven't responded to. Just be very aware of what's going on. Take your documents with you when you're coming back. If you've got a lawyer in your case, you want to make sure that your lawyer is aware of when you're coming back into the country. You want to make sure there's nothing that's going to be incriminating on any of your electronic devices. Your phone doesn't have text. If you are filing based off of marriage and you've got a spouse here, you don't want them, because at port of entry, you don't have any constitutional right to say you can search my device, and they can. They get your phone and they see text message between you and the lady you're planning to marry after you get your green card. It makes absolutely no sense. So look through your devices, make sure there's no incriminating information, laptop, iPad, phone, nothing, no jokes that you're making with someone about getting papers and all that, because they're going to translate and interpret that as someone trying to get their papers just to get a green card. So just be aware of things like that. But at the end of the day, if you do not have to travel, and if your country is on the travel ban list, that means you are on, you've got bullseye on that country. If you don't have to travel and you're here, just stay here and be done with your papers. If you really have to travel, then just take the precautions that you need to take, but most importantly, let your attorney know your itinerary, so at least they are on standby when you're coming back. So that's the update on this. That's all we know for now. How this is going to be implemented, then we're yet to see. Another thing is this. Okay. Another thing it says, given that, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, the week of Thanksgiving, I believe, they have also decided that all applications that were approved as of on or after January 20, 2021 are going to be re-examined by USCIS. So that would include if you had a green card, so if you've had a green card approved since that day. Initially, the countries of concern were the initial 19 countries on the travel ban. So you can expect that you can expect that it's going to be, now that there are additional 20 countries, that re-examination of green cards, advanced parole, whatever the case may be, is going to extend to these other countries as well. So that's something you should also keep in mind as you travel outside the United States and even within the United States, because now we know that the TSA is providing lists of passengers on a weekly basis to ICE. It's yeah. This is not to make you afraid. This is to make you keep you informed. That's all, sure, people. Let's get to questions. Let's get to questions. I know you probably have a lot of questions. Hello, Mr. Lale. How are you? Hello, Mr. Kobina. What's going on? Okay. Responses to questions are general information. Did I get a new chat? I did. I do that like every. Can you see it every day? It's supposed to be covered for a while. I just love it. What can I say? This one has a scripture verse, Psalm 105:15. Family is doing well. Responses to questions are general in nature, nothing specific to anyone's case. The more you know. That's what she wrote. Good evening. Hello, Pastor Isaac. How are you? Can I apply for N400 if my country is on the list? So no one is saying you cannot apply, but is it possible that they may not schedule for oath ceremony? Yes, because we've seen them cancel this oath ceremony for people who were actually at USCIS office to take the oath, and they took them out. So, but nothing says you cannot apply, but they may put a pause on it. We just, until you apply before we know, really, and that's just the reality of what we're seeing. Okay. Let's go to TikTok family. Hey, TikTok people, what's going on? I'm all for just being safe. If you're in broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. Better safe than sorry. Like they say, prevention is better than cure. Yeah, that's just me. All right, let's see. How about 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕? 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 is that as long as 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕? I think 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 is still one of the longest names. Really? Like how many letters? 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Oh, that's still a long name. Let's see what name is going to beat that one. Well, another one is 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 for me. Which one is longer? It used to be 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, but all this Gen X and Z and all the nice. Yeah, we just have a whole long last first name that ang US akon niya ang ban everybody but all this about like I got the best ban. Like if we can't pronounce your name, then we and Nigerian people especially, let's put a pause on all those. I mean, is Sierra Leone fully banned now? Yes, according to this proclamation. Yes. I guess I just answered that question. Anything about how long processing time, how long a petition takes, when is it going to be processed? Go on uscis.gov/processing times. Okay, I answered that question. Advanced parole, anything about whether you can travel? That's another question I'm going to answer. So if you're anything about can you travel, ask your attorney. If you don't have an attorney, sit down and schedule a consultation with one. But it's a lot. For us in the South, it's just too much. Okay. Okay. Please do not repeat questions. These are a lot of repeated questions on TikTok. As a student with approved I-140 for EB2 and IW, would it affect my adjustment status here in the United States? Like the proclamation says, if you already if you have a visa already, that should not. Nobody can tell you if you travel what's going to happen, but within the United States, that adjusting the status is different from a travel ban affects entry, getting a visa to come in. Travel ban is not it's not within the country. That's because you're adjusting status. So now if you travel, then obviously whether or not you can come back in as someone who already has that status, having the status is different from actually having a valid visa. So keep that in mind. But if you're not traveling, it's not something that is going to be applicable to adjustment of status. I hope that answers your question. That's the best I can be more specific than that. So if I'm skipping your question and your question is about travel, that's why it's being skipped. I'm not going to answer any question about travel at all. Okay, let's see. Can a husband come over on a visiting visa? I mean, if he's granted, and he's being truthful about, and he doesn't misrepresent any information on his visa application, and it's granted, and he's allowed entry, then nothing stops him from doing that. Okay, let's see. The one thing I'll just say about traveling domestically is, just so you know, that TSA is providing that there's a photo of the, I think one of the TSA supervisors or whatever with the Christian Nome, they plastered all over their social media platforms. So just so you know, they're all working together, and they're factually providing lists of passengers. So how they not get to decide who is here legally or who's, I don't know, but just so you know, that's something you should be aware of. Okay. So I know we're going to have a lot of travel questions. And again, if your question is about can you travel, sit down with your lawyer. If you don't have one, sit down with an attorney and evaluate your specific case. I cannot tell you, even if you're my client, you're going to sit down with me, and we're going to see what I happen to clients who travel and don't tell me that they're traveling. I always say, you travel at your own risk. It's not like anybody can stop, but at least I can evaluate what's going on I know your case. I can tell you, hey, listen, this is my concern. There's a lady, Miss J, who was going to travel. And I said, not with this we just got from your RFE. No, that's a no. If you do go and you're stuck, do not call me. So she's sitting her butt down until we get her case approved by God's grace. So talk to your lawyer, but if you don't have one, schedule time with one, especially if you're planning to go home for Christmas. Is Nigeria among the newly added countries? Yes, on a partial ban. I have an approved I-140. I'm planning to adjust my status in September 2026. This adjustment status is not part of the travel ban. Okay. Let's see. All right, that's it. Can your green card be renewed if your country is on the travel? I just said it, like the green card holders are exempt. Okay. How many days after applying for VAWA can you get a receipt notice? Receipt notices with VAWA cases are faster now because of the changes in the filing locations. So about what we're seeing in our firm is no more than 2 weeks. If you filed your VAWA petition prior to September 18, 2025, you probably will still be waiting a little bit because they're just literally just getting to cases that were filed in June to get receipt notices since then. But if you filed your case anytime after September 18, then your receipt notices should not take that long. Yes, and this video is going to be up. I'm not sure how it works in TikTok because I haven't really looked into that. I'm going to ask Kyla, who does our social media, but I know for sure that you can still access it on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. TikTok, I don't know. Okay. I don't see any reason why your green card would not be renewed just because your country is on a travel ban list. Can you file I-45 now having asylum approved October 25? No, it's not advisable because your I-45 must have been pending at least a year before they can approve it. If it was just approved 2 months ago, your asylum was just approved 2 months ago, and wait at least 6-7 months before you put in your I-45. Thank you. I did my N400 interview, N400 7 months ago. Still have not received an email as of yet. What should I do? We know that that's taking a while. You can contact USCIS to get a status update in your case. I'm a U.S. citizen. Is it safe to travel to my country? Like, really? Why would? Okay. All right. Let's see. Sorry, we didn't hear about the vow. It was breaking. You didn't hear what about what did you? What was it about the vow that I didn't hear? I don't know. I've said quite a bit, so let me know what it is. This special partial ban, does that mean Nigerians with valid visa cannot? I just said it. Let me say it again. Y'all listen to the exceptions based on this proclamation. The proclamation includes exceptions for lawful permanent residents, existing visa holders, certain visa categories like athletes and diplomats, and individuals whose entry serves U.S. national interests. So that's what the exception is. U.S. citizens filing for spouse. Whether that's going to be affected is yet to be seen because the full and partial restrictions affect both non-immigrant and immigrant visas. We're just going to have to wait to see how they apply, how it is the application process goes, and what happens at the embassies. We're just going to have to wait to see what happens. The fact sheets on the White House website say that there will be narrowing broad exceptions of family-based immigrants to be a case. But yes, so that's what I just said. Whether or not it's going to affect immediate relatives is yet to be seen. So we have to wait because immediate relatives are people applying for immigrant visas. So that's why the visas are categorized into immigrants, non-immigrants, and immigrants. So immigrant visas covers immediate relatives. We're just going to have to see how this is going to be applied, and hopefully it's not something no longer automatically exempt from the travel ban. Again, this is something that was just released today, so we're going to get additional information. I can expect, or you can expect, or we can expect that there may be lawsuits coming because, if you're going to stop people from bringing citizens from getting their immediate relatives here, that's going to create, constitutional issues and all that. So let's we just got it to release today. Let's see how things go. Okay. It's effective. Yeah, it's effective. Thank you, Miss Sandra. Thank you. That ban is family matter, and they will soon settle. I like that. That's good too. Instagram. It's sometimes I need a vacation from this. I need to just take a break. Today's Tuesday. No basketball today. We're in the middle of exams, semester exams, so no basketball today. I haven't missed. Have I missed the sanctuary? Have I missed all Tuesdays? Someone said you haven't been here on a Tuesday. Have I not? Hold up. No, wait. So last Tuesday what's today? 16th. Last Tuesday. So yeah, we had basketball game last week. December 2nd. I can't remember. But yeah, if I wasn't here on a Tuesday, it was because my kid had a basketball game. So it is what it is. I gotta show up. Miracle or join me. 10 years from now, when teachers like, when I had basket, you think, no, I'm not gonna create a situation for him to say, you didn't show up. No, come rain, sunshine, rapture, everywhere. We're showing up. We're showing up. No matter how cold it is, I will go. I mean, I could join me. To the boy and look, boy, I could join me. Let's go. We'll show up for the basketball game. I love to watch him play, though. I really do. I'm always usually the loudest. Go T, go T. Jesus Christ. Yeah. What is the implication of the ban? Hello, baby boy. On Nigerians living in the States already and those with approved awaiting green card. So I think we covered all of that. So I think we covered that at length. So just, yeah, I thank you for your question before I start talking. Okay, let's see. Alrighty. This one comes ice on my car. But yeah, those ice on my my car is in my garage and covered garage. So I don't have ice issue. But my oldest son who drives has those ice on his car this morning, and like, well, you don't pay any bills, so you don't. I mean, those of us who pay bills, we have covered a car in the garage that's covered. If you don't pay bill, you got to park it outside. It just thank God for remote starts. Remote started, and it would remote started, and that's all. But no, I'm not parking outside, so you can park it inside. No, I love my kids not that much. Judge yourselves. Hello, Miss Amoso. How are you? Let's see. What's the time? 15. Okay, I'm trying to miss anybody. From Johannesburg, South Africa. Thank you for joining, Ronke Uluwadumininu. It's Dale below this long list. Is that your middle name or your last name? That's your first name. But I have to go and talk to my mom. Why did she give me a short name? Because it looks like she got no rings in it. Like the names have to be. But anyway. Baba. But okay. Everybody's very questionable, so they would not be so. Okay. Okay, let's see. Now let me segue. How are you? I'm doing well, Miss Lechi. Thank you for asking. Durasimi real one. Thank you. I'm doing well. Good evening to you as well. My parents, thank you. My parents have a 5-year B1 B2 since 2024, and they haven't visited since. If they plan to visit next year, does this policy affect them? So one of the exceptions is current visa holders. However, nothing is guaranteed, so they just have to travel and see what happens. Hopefully, there's nothing that stops them from coming in. And keep in mind, when the proclamation is released, there are always going to be changes. So we just have to see what happens. Okay, help me stop me. Can someone from Nigeria with a green card file for naturalization? Nothing says you cannot. Whether or not, hopefully that was an extreme case of people being prevented from taking the oath ceremony, but you go ahead. I've got quite a number of clients that we've got pending and 400 applications. I don't see any reason why, especially if it's partial ban, we just have to wait and see. I haven't heard of any country that has partial ban that the citizens, those citizens were not able to get to do their oath ceremonies, but we just have to wait to see. Okay. Which So I would try to get that fact sheet and put it on our page so that you can see what the proclamation is. Or if you just go on Google and just put in travel ban proclamation, you get to see exactly the exemptions. But I just like to explain things so that everybody has an idea. But explanation doesn't take the place of going to review it yourself so you see. Can a husband still file a green card application for wife in Nigeria? Absolutely. Is there any update about May 2025 virus substitution still awaiting? May, June, so I think they just got done with April. We're still getting receipt notices for cases we filed May, June. We haven't received anything, no receipt notice in my firm for cases that we filed in, and we filed by every single month. For cases we filed in July and August, we haven't received notices for those cases. We're just now getting receipt notices for cases we filed in May and June. So they have stopped issuing employment-based visas due to the ban. That's miss for me. There was no way I said they've stopped issuing employment visas due to the ban at all. Didn't say anything like that. I don't even think I said anything about employment at all in this whole conversation. Okay. If you have issue with your divorce decree and you had your green card for 6 years, can you travel? Okay, that's a travel question. Let's see. It's been like 3 Tuesdays. Really? Well, Thanksgiving Tuesday. Yeah, Mr. Leonard, actually, you know why I was not here for Thanksgiving Tuesday. Well, I'm here now. If you have gone for citizenship interview, why didn't you wait to naturalize it for your travel? Good question. That's something I've been saying. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Absolutely. Makes perfect sense. But some people have to go for December stuff. So hey, 6 months for receipt notice. Yeah. So one of the cases we got today, a receipt notice we got today, was filed last week in May. I forget the exact date, May 20 something. So that's almost 7 months for VAR receipt notices. Yeah. It is what it is. That's but they've changed since they changed the filing location since September. All cases, I don't think there's any case that we filed that we haven't received the notice within 2 weeks since the September change in the filing location. Okay. Let's see. What's the time? So there are a lot of these questions that I just cannot answer because y'all have to also understand that this is information that just got released today. So how it's going to be implemented, we just have to wait to see. Whether or not it's going to affect, applying, and putting a pause on applications for obviously they're putting a pause on approving any immigrant benefit for countries of concern, which included the region of 19 countries. Will this additional 20 countries that have full end or partial bans now be part of that? I can't tell you yes or no because I don't know. We have to wait to see how USCIS implements that. So we just have to wait to see. Hopefully not, but we just have to wait to see. Okay, I stand corrected. So let me go back. So that may be okay. I want to make sure because I said effective. So immediately. So hold on 1 second, people. Someone said it's January 1st. Let me make sure I'm correct because I don't want to give you any wrong information. We pulled up right here. And when is the effective date? Effective date. Continues to. If I don't find it here, we will let you know. So I stand corrected that if it's so, because I know someone asked when is the effective. I don't see it as soon as I want to. Let me pull up my ELA info. Give me 1 second. Okay, I stand corrected. It's going to be so January 1st. I'm not sure about Nigeria yet because I don't see that on this. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Let me give you the information I'm looking for. However, Sierra Leone being added to the full ban list is effective January 1st. Okay. Okay. So I stand corrected. Thank you. Lionheart. January 1st is the effective date. So it's going to be effective. So it's going to be a total of 39 countries where, so let's clarify. 19 countries already are under the travel ban, the initial 19 countries. So this additional 20 countries, that's 5 more countries with full restriction and then 15 countries with partial restrictions. Keeping in mind that 2 countries from the original 19 countries have now been included in the full restriction. They were on the partial ban. They're not going to be full restriction. So this is going to be effective January 1st, 2026, not immediately. January 1st, 2026 is when it becomes effective. So thank you, Lionheart, for that. And yes, so again, exceptions would include permanent residents, current visa holders, because like when it was exempt, I can permanent residents, so green card holders, existing visa holders, certain visa categories like athletes and diplomats, and individuals whose entry serves U.S. national interest. How that's going to be, whose category is going to fall within serves U.S. national interest, you're just going to have to wait to see. But it's effective January 1st for these additional countries. And for those countries that will now go on the full restriction January 1st. However, the 19 countries that are already in the travel ban, that's already in place. Thank you. Can you answer about VAW, please? What was the question about VAW? So, okay, we're almost out of time. Pending I-45 based on employment. Well, application, we're not talking of travel ban travel ban has to do with entry into the United States. This is the Department of State that has to implement this. What we're saying on this side with USCIS is because of those countries and now countries that have now it's not USCIS is not going based off the travel ban. You have to understand that the cancellation of oath ceremony for those who were just canceled and denied oath ceremony was based on the fact that with USCIS, it's not about the travel ban. With USCIS is more about those countries that are on the travel. The relevance is this: those countries, those 19 countries on the travel ban, are also the countries where that are also part of those countries where they're pausing approval of any immigration benefit for countries of concern. The countries of concern have not necessarily been listed. The only thing USCIS director has said that it's good to infer that those countries of concern are those same countries that were currently on the travel ban, which were the region of 19 countries. So that's what is going on with USCIS and how it's applicable within the United States. Whether or not this new list of countries that have now been added on the travel ban will now become part of that countries of concern list within the United States, we're yet to see how USCIS implements that. I'm trying to be very careful on how I explain this, but that's the best way I can explain it. So I can tell you, yes, this is going to. We just have to wait to see what USCIS decides to do with this additional list. Would you recommend filing I-130 through LPR parents? I'm over 21 and my TPS just got terminated. You're over 21, you're not an immediate relative because your parent is not a citizen, and you're over 21. So even if your I-130 gets approved, with TPS getting terminated, especially if you've already put in your unlawful presence and you don't have anything else, you can't get a green card. You're over 21. You're not in any valid status. You have to be in valid status if you're over the age of 21 and your parents is a green card holder for you to now become eligible when your priority date becomes current to apply for a green card. Okay. All right. I did adjustment of status and paid with G1450 and combined my payments with all payments. So you combine everything in one. Whether it will get rejected, you're gonna have to wait to see. I don't do that. And I think they've already said it that for each application you must have a separate G1450 or G1650. So I-130 would have it. So on I-45 would have. That's what we do. That's what we've done. Knock on wood, we've not had any issues. Whether or not they're going to accept that, you just have to wait and see. If they do not, they're going to reject it and just resubmit it. Okay. All right, people. Can I apply for US visa despite the restrictions, depending on what country you're from? I'll be petitioning for a K1 visa for my partner in Nigeria. What are the odds? We're just going to have to wait to see. Let's see. The person who was asking about VAWA. I don't see your questions. Scared of filing I-130 from LPR dad and getting an interview in Venezuela and had TPS, no removals. Don't be scared. I mean, the whole point of all this is to make people scared, but no, don't. How much do you charge for consultation? 140, 30 minutes, 210, 45 minutes, 265, 1 hour. All of that is going to change come January 1st. So if you need to schedule a consultation for next year, you want to do it now. Okay. All right, people. Listen, all of this information is not for people only citizens can file for their parents. That's correct. All of this information is not to make people afraid. It's to give you the information that you need so that you can make an informed decision about your case. You can take the precautions that you need to take if you're all traveling. Like I said, my people, this covering sun, rapture, Jesus, it doesn't matter. Some people they're still in the US. They still have to go to work this weekend, but their minds and souls are already in Nigeria celebrating 30 December. That's fine. Just make sure that you take the precautions that you need to take. Do not, it's great to enjoy. Don't let fear cripple you, but be wise in your decisions as well. If you think, based on your circumstances, if it's just too risky for you to travel, especially if you're right in the middle of getting your green card, or you're waiting for your old ceremony, or you have an N400 spending and you're waiting for your interview, you may want to just, reconsider. You know your situation, you reconsider, but most importantly, pray about it. Pray about it. Let God give you the direction, and let God, let Him direct your path. Lean not on your own understanding. This is not the time you want to lean on your own. It's about, all in all, God will give you the best, the wisdom to make the best decision for your case. We're not going to live in fear, but we're going to also operate under wisdom. So let's keep believing. Let's keep trusting God. God is still in control. No matter, these are all man-made laws. At the end of the day, God remains in control. And whose report are we going to believe? We will believe the report of the Lord, but we also ask God for the spirit of discernment and of wisdom, so that we can make the right decisions. So hopefully this helps. This video will be up, share with as many people so they can be aware and just be cautious as well. Once again, just to be very clear, this goes into effect. Thank you, Lion Earth Heart. Goes into effect January 1st for those new countries. The 19 countries already are in effect since June. All right, I'll see you guys on Thursday.